live. And thank you so much for joining me tonight, brethren, in the Temple of Truth. If you have read the caption of the broadcast, remember to read the description of the broadcast as well. Like the broadcast, the video, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them, Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. And once again, thank you if you have done all of that. And to our new members, because I've seen that we have received at least over 400 new members on YouTube. If you are one of them, well, joining us for the first time on Mayegun's Diary Political Live. So we say welcome. If this was a physical gathering, I will ask your neighbor to shake your hand, like say stand up or raise up your hand if this is your first time of watching Mayegun live. And then I'll ask somebody next to you to shake your hand and, say welcome to you. Or we can do that virtually as well, like say you're welcome. But there is something, a very quick reminder, okay? On Mayegun's Diary Political, right? And meanwhile, today is Sunday, so which is what we call the No Holds Bar session on Mayegun's Diary Political. So if you are joining this platform for the first time, because, you probably saw a video or a content that attracted you to this platform, right? So there is, there are some rules which are like our own rules here. So the first of them is that we do not do political correctness, okay? Which means that whatever I say is, none of them is, a slip of tongue or what have you, okay? So we do not have respect for the criminal, religious, rogues in Nigeria. We call them the pulpit bandits. And that is not a direct attack on your faith, okay, on your belief or what have you, all right? We do not have respect for the rogues ruining the contraption called Nigeria. We don't. Whether they are young or they are old, doesn't really matter. So which means we don't do political correctness. On this platform, more than 80% of us are interested in the total breakup of that contraption called Nigeria as well, which means we are not unity beggars. We are not here to offer solution to how to make Nigeria better, all right? We are not people who deceive ourselves by pretending to have a solution that will fix Nigeria. Nigeria is not fixable. Do you understand? So that you don't join this platform and begin to kind of have a different expectation. So what this platform really stands for is to educate whoever cares to be educated about Nigeria and the reason why Nigeria is not working and why it will never work. Our own solution is very simple and straightforward. And that is, if all of us care about Nigeria that much, right? The closest thing that we can demand for is the breakup of that contraption from the current arrangements. Do you understand? So don't come here and begin to ask for way forward. The only way forward that we, majority of us, kind of agree to here is that the contraption should be broken up. And do not try to gaslight us, okay? We are not the haters of Nigeria, all right? We are just people who have reached that point of reality. Like, we have come to that reality that those who are responsible for the destruction of Nigeria, they are those who hijacked power, but for their selfish use only, not for the betterment of the millions of people trapped in that contraption. So we are not responsible for their actions. We are only responsible for exposing their actions. Do you understand? So don't kind of begin to be offended. Now, another thing is that on this platform, right, we believe as well that everybody knows the problem of that contraption called Nigeria. Everyone does. If you call anybody and say, what do you think is the problem of Nigeria? They will tell you in abundance, like they for hours. Now, the difference between us and them is that we are not just showcasing and highlighting what is wrong with that contraption Nigeria. We are also mentioning the names of those who are responsible for it. And now in mentioning names, right, these individuals that cut across all tribes, all ethnic and all religions in Nigeria simply means that when we mention their atrocities, we also mention their names. Okay, we mention their names, and we don't give a damn about where they come from. Now, if you then suddenly take offense and feel like because you are Igbo or you are Hausa or you are Yoruba, you feel offended because of the names of those we are calling, then you will be treated the same way we treat them, all right? Which is we'll trash you like we trash them. So the purpose of this platform is to kind of help the citizens who care to know that it is not your fault that that contraption is what it is, but it is your fault if you continue to give excuses for them or find excuses for them. And also, this platform helps you to understand where you belong, because there are so many pretenders out there as well. You see, a lot of people pretended that they want a better Nigeria, but on their own terms. And that is why we believe that Nigerians don't really hate corruption. They don't really hate oppression. They do not really despise, bad behavior. Most Nigerians that condemn bad behaviors are doing so simply because they are not direct beneficiary of this bad behavior. The moment they get closer to benefiting one way or the other, right, then they normalize the abnormalities. And this is why on this platform, you can get to know if anything we say here offends you, it tells us where you truly belong, even if you are disguising. If the Wiriara is disguising, pretending that you want something better, or meanwhile, right, you actually love your own oppressors, you love your own criminals differently. So the way you react to what we say here, when your name is not really mentioned, will tell us where you belong. It's so easy. And you, even if you are confused, to understand where you truly belong in this scheme of things, on Mayegun's Diary Political, we can help you understand where you belong. Whether you are a closet Buhari Den, a Buhari Dideri, a Buhari Dinotu, a Buhari Dijatu, a Buhari Shuku, Ngoziari, Nnekahari, or a Buhari idiot, like generally, or maybe yours is like a bat idiot, a bastard, okay? A Lagos Abobaku, Oshobu Alimajiri, right? And unbound slaves, voluntary slaves, obedient fools, sophisticated morons. Maybe you are just a crumb eater, a crumb chaser, ass licker, or ricer, or yours is an Abrodian Ronuku, which is the same as the Ronu bandits, the Ronu Nazis, the Ronu, the Yoruba Ponus, and all kind of characters that we have sort of created on this platform. You will figure out where you belong at the end of the day. Now, if you don't belong to any of these, then you are probably going to be a true Templar. A true Templar is somebody who doesn't lie to himself or herself, who doesn't blame himself or herself for the atrocities committed by others. And you shouldn't, by any means, try to become an associate of these rogues, whether they are on the pulpit, your church, or your mosque. So it is very clear. So many of us here who are like the adherent followers of Mayegun's Diary Political. Now, if you are now Brodian Ronuku, like we call them, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers, and others like that, okay, you will get to know as well. I'm talking about those of you who always love Nigeria from abroad. And then despite the fact that you are living in a pretty much like an advanced society, you still support the criminality of these rogues in that contraption. You will find out where you belong. It's very straightforward. Now, you may lie to yourself, you may lie to other people, but you can't really lie to yourself on Mayegun's Diary Political. The bottom line is that do not take offense when you hear whatever Mayegun says. And like I said, I am very, very intentional. If I want to call anybody Olori Buruku, I call them Olori Buruku without blinking. If I want to call them Olushia, I call them Ashia. Unfortunate, I call them. Do you understand? And without blinking, none of everything that comes out of my mouth is, anyway, like a slip or a mistake. I don't say things and take them back. No. So that is why if you are new on Mayegun's Diary Political, and you want to kind of understand how and why we arrive at where we are, right? Then you can possibly just listen to me with a neutral mind, all right? So don't come here and begin to ask for respect for criminals. We don't respect criminals. And please don't play the card of, don't you have home training? If you don't want to, do you understand? Because the people we are talking about, the rogues who have destroyed lives, millions of lives, we have asked severally that who are their parents? Did their parents raise them to be this kind of heartless, cold criminals who are mortgaging the lives and the future of millions of, of people in that contraption? Do you understand? Now, if we are clear about all of that, I don't think we'll have any problem. Now, if you misbehave, suddenly if you start acting like a lunatic in the comment section, there are guys who are walking about with armor. You will see armor next to, a spanner. You will see a spanner next to their names, right? Especially on YouTube. Their job is to knock you akwaku, knock you spanner. If you begin to misbehave, if you begin to act like a lunatic in the comment section, trying to kind of like, defend these rogues. So also, their job is to get rid of you. Now, out of all of that, right, then you are welcome to Mayegun's Diary Political, the Temple of Truth, the Temple of the Uncomfortable Truth. Thank you. So tonight, we are starting with the latest from the people destroying people's chairman. So people destroying people's chairman, right, is acting chairman rather, is his name is Damagun. Now Damagun and another guy who I can't remember his name right now is they are both believed to be the closest sort of a plans of Wike in PDP, people destroying people. Now, people destroying people were supposed to be like the biggest opposition to APC, the Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Akbanyo People's Congress, all past and present criminals, APC, but somehow, right, they have managed to cripple the supposed opposition. They were supposed to be to Tifnumbu, the Jagawiri, the Jagabanditi, the Jaga Addicti, the druggie himself, and the certificate forger, Tifnumbu. So it is believed that Wike, who is like in APC already, but somehow is still holding on to the PDP. So he has his own loyalists within the PDP that have made it more impossible for him to be punished for anti-party, what have you, insubordination, and kind of like above their supposed law in their own political party. But the guy changed recently and started speaking a different language, which is pretty much new. That's what we're going to start tonight. So according to him, he said, it is time for them to deal with Wike, and not just Wike, they will deal with Wike's co-travelers due to the happenings in Rivers State. Remember, Wike has his own lawmakers whose kind of like assignment was to remove Fubara, the man that Wike, personally installed as a governor of Rivers State, and based on an agreement that he later reneged on. Long story, okay? So according to Damagun, they've had enough of Wike, and right now it is time for them to go after these guys. And Wike's co-travelers have been purged out of their PDP as we speak. That's what he said, right? So let's start with that. Damagun, ladies and gentlemen.
As regards to the election of the 25 members from Rivers, and I will read as agreed by all members. There is no remedy for 25 former Rivers Assembly members. We've asked we counsel them to prepare for fresh election. The People's Democratic Party asserts that there is no remedy for the 25 former members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who, by virtue of 109(1) G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, vacated and lost their seats by reason of defection from the PDP, the party platform upon which they were elected into the House of Assembly. Our party insists that having now vacated and lost their seats, the only option available for the former lawmakers, if they wish to return to the House of Assembly, is to seek fresh nomination and re-election on the platform of any political party of their choice, in line with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, and the Electoral Act 2022. The 25 former Rivers lawmakers freely and without any cause vacated their seats, being fully aware of the consequences of defection from the party upon which they were elected into the Rivers State House of Assembly without the conditions stipulated by the 1999. For the avoidance of doubt, there is no division in the PDP at the national or any other level, for that matter, to justify the defection of the 25 former members of the Rivers State House of Assembly from the party. They therefore vacated their seats for reasons best known to them and cannot return to the House of Assembly without passing through a fresh electoral process in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and the Electoral Act. Moreover, the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Barrister Ihi Edison, officially declared the seat of the defected, now former members, vacant, in line with Section 109 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The Rivers State House of Assembly, having become functus officio on the matter, cannot readmit the former lawmakers unless through the channel of a fresh election. Our party therefore counsels the former members of the Rivers State House of Assembly not to be deceived by anybody giving them the false hope and impracticable assurances in Abuja or any other place that they can return to the Rivers State House of Assembly without a fresh election, or that the Independent National Electoral Commission can be stopped from conducting fresh elections into the 25 Rivers State constituencies where vacancies have occurred by reason of their defection. For emphasis, Section 84(15) of the Electoral Act 2022 is clear in providing that no courts have powers to stop INEC from conducting election wherever and whenever a vacancy occurs in any electoral constituency. For clarity, Section 84(15) of the Electoral Act 2022 provides that nothing in this section shall empower the courts to stop the holding of primaries or general election under this act, pending the determination of the suit. The PDP demands that INEC should, in line with Section 109(1) and G and Section 84(15) of the Electoral Act 2022, fix a date for the conduct of fresh election in the 25 state constituencies in Rivers State where vacancies have occurred by reason of the defection of the now former members, pending the determination of any suit in any court. The national leadership of the PDP charges all members of our great party in Rivers State to remain united and resolute in the defense of constitutional democracy and rule of law in Rivers. He has every right to be called upon to attend a meeting without seeking clearance for us. More so, as regards to your question, whether the constitution of that meeting was constituted right or not, this will be answered.
That's Damago. And again, I don't really have to say much. Like, if you have been following the political brouhaha in River State. So one of the miscalculation or miscalculated step taken by the supposed Wike's loyalist was for them to decamp to APC, hoping that Tinubu would kind of protect them. You know, it is still part of the lawlessness in that contraption. Don't get me wrong, all right? Because normally they should have conducted a different election by now. But because it is a lawless place and, you know, the hijackers, the power snatchers in charge of the contraption right now controls the institutions that could possibly have acted right